Good afternoon. Today is supposed to be Merry Monday, but as I was while I was sleeping last night and woke up at 4:30 and couldn't fall back to sleep, I was thinking for me for Merry Monday this week, because I got my scraps in such a disorder and taking up so much space. I'm not going to worry about and I have very few Christmas scraps. So I've decided I'm going to postpone Merry Monday till next week. And I'm going to do something. Part of this video is because I did something in scrapbooking junk in my group Junk Journal Craft and Chat. We have a monthly theme, and I'm bringing it here as well to YouTube, and that is January Get Organized. And I'm going to do different themes this week from January 1st to the 6th. Is going to be scraps. So part of it is gathering all my scraps because I have them in bins and boxes and I have them everywhere. They're just all over the place. That's part of the reason not pulling the Christmas. I've got some on my back table that I'm supposed to have cleaned off to be able to tea dye from doing all kinds of different stuff. I've got them in piles in different places. So for me this week is just to focus on organizing scraps. I've gotten 3 boxes done so far. I'm going to move this up for a second. This is partly organized the way I organized some of it. And this box was full. Now this is just a few pieces. I put the baggie for those somewhere. But these are like little cutouts that I don't know what I'll use for, and I'm keeping them there and organizing them that way. This is just because I can't find the bag for that. I put it somewhere and can't find it. And I had 3 of those small boxes. Now this one is meant to be like this. This is teeny scraps for what the project I'm going to work on. And I meant for this to stay like this. I cleaned this box out and then used it as for this. This is my little itty bitty scraps. I'm keeping it that way for something that I make, Scrappy Hearts, and another item. And I have one more big box, and then I've got about 3 or 4 piles I need to go through and see what is scraps and sort through those. Today what we're going to do is, when I was talking in my group, I mentioned these, and right now I wished I could remember who I got this from. I'll look it up and I'll make sure I put it in. But I make these Scrappy Hearts with just scraps. And they work best. I mean, if you want them to be just a couple, I like them better with a variety of different scraps. It just creates something interesting. So I showed them to my group and they were interested in seeing how I do it. And again, the person that I got this idea from, if I remember, I will make sure I make note of it. And then I did some where I colored some paper. They're not as my favorite as these are. And then when I doing it, then I watched another lady who used her scraps, and she did something like this with stamped images, which I like. Where you tear out, you stamp it, and then you tear out and like do a rough tear, and you can use them in clusters. You could use it on its page. Like this would be beautiful on a page by itself. But when I was doing this, I made a mistake, and I didn't want to lose the whole thing. Oh, this is still wet. I better move that. I made a mistake, and then I liked it, so then I did another board and I made these with my stamps, where I stamped it on the Scrappy masterboard, and then I cut right around, well, I stamped on them with my different stamps, and like, I don't know, like, I see if I have a piece of paper that this can stand out more on. I don't know if that stands out more, but it created this really nice, without coloring it, I loved how it turned out. This is scraps, and then I have like a library card that looks like with stamped dates, and I stamped it on there. And I just liked the mixture of the mixed media. I did the same with a bingo card. You'll see the different shades of paper. There's the flower. And I really liked it. And so I promised the group I'd show them how I did this. And this was a mistake doing the other ones, and I ended up loving this. And again, some of these can go on a page by themselves because they're just pretty as it is. You could take watercolors if you want and add a bit of water in it, a bit of color in it if you want, or you could stamp with a colored stamp if you choose so. I went neutral. But also these would be great on a cluster, on belly bands if you're doing I can't think of the name of it. The name went out of my mind. Snippet roll. You could put these on a snippet roll. So I really liked, as you can see, I loved it so much. Look at how many I did. So I'm going to show you how I did the master boards for these different ones. And we'll do a few of them. Again, if you like, you can come join us in Junk Journal Craft and Chat. I will put the link below of the group where I'm going to be doing the Get Organized and in different ways I organize. This week is scraps. And then not only but Get Organized, we're going to do, like for instance now, we're going to create with some of those scraps. So not only are we organizing them, but we're going to try to use some of them up this week so that in our future projects and we create more scraps, we're not overtaken by the scraps. I forgot to put that away. So what I'm going to start first, sorry, I've got a yawn, guys. I had a bad night's sleep. I apologize for that. So first what I'm going to start with, this is an old it's a piece of scrapbook paper that that I didn't like, and I would never use it in any other project, so I gessoed it and then I let it dry. And so what works with this is sometimes I use large pieces just to put it on, but this works good with lots of scraps if you want a more collaged looking heart. So that's the best way to do it. So that's why I put little pieces. Now I put some bigger pieces because it can get tedious if you're doing all kinds of little. And you also want to try to overlap as much as possible. Now I'm one of these people, I don't like this white showing. So I'll try to do this a little. Just to, so that it doesn't look so brown. And then I started this off camera because it takes a long time to do this, and I didn't think you want to sit and watch the whole time me gluing. But I wanted to do some to show you my thought process when I do it, because hopefully I'll get a heart with several of these pieces. But even here you could take, let's say you have a little book page. You could just take a corner of that book page and even make it smaller if you want and stick it just right dead in the center. So that in that collaged heart, you have a really different, and if you wanted to ink the sides, you could. I've done both. So there we go. That's, what you can, and that is what you want to do. Even in here, I need to add some more scraps in here so that it doesn't look so uniformed. Even here, I'm not going to waste that little scrap, and I'm going to put it right here. So, this works great. Now I do some bigger ones because it's just, you'd be all day if you did all little ones, right? So, and down here, I kind of tried to do a neutral, this is colorful. You can do that on your page. You can do it however you choose. It was something new I was trying, but I already see that I'm going off of that. And sometimes I don't like script on top of script. So that's also, it's your choices, how you want it to go. And yes, you want them in different angles and different, you don't want it all straight up and down. So sometimes I'll angle it a bit. There we go. And in this too, I'm going to probably want something. That's where this comes in handy. If you have any really skinny pieces, you could throw along here. And it just adds, or it could just zip right into the middle. All depends how you want to do it. Right? So I'm going to put it like that. Now when you go to, when I'll show you later when you go to cut this out, sometimes you have to put a little extra glue again, because when you cut it, it sometimes cuts just in just about the wrong place. So I'm going to do it like that. I don't have a lot of those pieces, but they're perfect in this because it just adds, when you cut the heart out, it's going to look really cute there. And like for instance in here, I might want a little color because it's a lot of neutral. So that's when you could grab a paper. Even now, I still have to look through this. I might eventually do 2 boxes or get 2 baskets. That way they can sit inside each other, and have one with all neutral colors and then ones with my flowered paper, just so it's a little bit easier. Like this would look really pretty if I can get it the right way. So I might end up in a heart that could look really nice. Maybe we'll do it here or here. Sometimes I do this. I just randomly stick it somewhere and build around it, or I'll just leave it for a few minutes, and as I'm playing, as I'm putting other stuff on, I'm looking for a small piece of color. Maybe that's too, not really that bright. I don't have a lot of bright in this one here. Oh, maybe this will work. But I'm going to tear it because I don't want that big of a piece. And of course I got some of the white. Sometimes I just go along and cut it. And I think I want to pop that here. Yeah. Just like that. So there we go. That way just a little bit of color. And see, whereas in here I might want more of some script. So you might want to look for a book page or something and stick it in there. And you may not want, I think I'm going to do it like that, but I don't want all these curves. For some reason it's not interesting me, all those curves. So I'm just taking them off. And now I'm going to just glue it. I hope I'm in camera. It's hard to sometimes tell because my camera is way above my head. Well, not real above, but where I would have to stretch to see. So I'll move that up because I kind of, so I put it along here just to take away from some of this color. In the Scrappy Heart, this is, you know, this is just fine. I could even, if I wanted to, say I wanted to break it up, but I don't want a piece of paper. Then that's just something new I'm going to just try, just out of the whim. I'm just going to stick a stamp there. And the same here. I'm going to add a stamp in here. Just like that. With the Scrappy Hearts, that works really well, doing it that way. Now I have these 2 pieces of paper. Sometimes I keep these, especially towards the end when you have like little holes you need to fill up. And because that looks so white to me, I'm just going to, that end looked white, white, white. Then there we go. And I have that glue there. I'm just going to put it back on there. Baby wipe that. There we go. So like this little one I'm not going to throw out because I might need it just a little piece somewhere. But what I'm going to do with that is I want to take, and I'm going to take, do I have my little thing, and I'm going to, I think I'm going to stamp on it, that little paper. But I left all my colors on the side of the room because I was using them and forgot to bring them back to my desk. And I'm actually going to do this. It's a scrapped heart. It's a fussy cut butterfly that I'm going to use in this too. I have a few of these and I thought I'd just try to see how that turns out on it so that I have different ways. Here I go yawning again. Oh, where's that little piece of paper? What I'm using is one of my favorites. It's Victorian Velvet. I'm using it. And I don't really care if the butterfly is the neatest because, and I'm just going to put it on. And if part of it gets cut off, I'm not worried about it. I'm more or less doing it just to add a little bit of a different. I always call everything when you add different mediums, basically mixed medium. Because on here we're using gesso, we're using scrapbooking paper, we're using ink and paper. So I just thought I'd try that and see how that goes. Stick this here. Sometimes I just glue right on the board and not worry about just gluing the piece that I'm using. Like that. Again, I'm just going to speed up the process a bit here. Because I want to I should have just sorted out my papers that I wanted to use. But I just wanted to see how I didn't want to do too much. I wanted you to be able to see, like, just dig through your scraps, find paper. Dig through them. And if your scrap is too big, tear it. Like, I think I want to throw this. This is where I think I'm going to end up. Again, I'm not sure about that, so I'm going to leave it like that. I found it, so I grabbed it. So I think I just want a little piece of this here. And I think under here I've got to put a little glue. I'm seeing what I just did, taking the lid off with my teeth. She'd yell at me. You're gonna have chips on my teeth because I've always been one of those people. See, these little pieces like this are great. That's where these come in handy to stick somewhere. When you have little holes, they're perfect. I don't know why I keep putting the lid on that. I'm only taking it off every 5 seconds. What I try to, because I'm so bad about color coordination, but I'm trying just to put it down and not overthink. I don't know if anybody else has that same problem of overthinking and doing it, but the idea is just to get rid of the scraps, right? So I'm just gonna throw that down there. Again, it's a little plain, but that's okay, because if we can find, even if you have to tear a little piece, I don't really have enough blue in there, like this. But I'm going to cut off the that part. And I'm not going to glue it down because I'm not quite sure how I'm going to put that yet. And I might put something under it there. So sometimes I just place it there for time being while I think. Got to cut off the white on the end. And we'll go like this. And I'm going to just lightly ink it because it's so close to the color that it's going close to. I'm just going to put a little so it stands out a little. Now glue it. because January for me is January organization. So I was talking. So this week is just all to scraps because I have so many scraps and we have so many ways we can use them. And I know with the new year coming and new projects, we're going to gain more scraps. So my idea is not only to organize them this week, but use some of them up so that we have room for our new scraps. Secondly, I'm trying to still keep in, like tomorrow in my Junk Journal Craft and Chat, we have Tag Tuesday, which is all through YouTube. It's not my creation. It's everybody does it. A lot of people do it. So we're going to do scrap tags. On Wednesday, I am doing scraps and stamps and how to use your stamps with your scraps and mass make some stuff. This is part of it too. Then I'm trying to remember what Thursday is. Thursday. Just so that if you want to, and I'm going to have them all on YouTube, but if you ever want to come in and join us at Junk Journal Craft Chat and be a part of it. So Thursday, my calendar isn't there, of course. It's me trying to be organized, but I piled it out of my way because I wasn't working. So let me just pull that out as I glue. So Thursday is going to be paper clusters. Then Friday will be scrappy notepads. And Saturday for my group, we call it Scrappy Saturday. So every Saturday I do something with scraps and that'll be through the whole year. And we're going to do clusters, but using lace fabric and paper. So we're going to use our paper scraps, we're going to use our lace scraps and our fabric scraps on Saturday. And then we're going to go into fussy cutting, organizing fussy cutting. That's only going to be 3 days. And then we're going to do scrapbooking pads for the rest of that week. So we have things throughout, and I haven't decided yet all the things we're going to make and do in that yet. I'm got to sit later and brainstorm a little. So this. So I'm just kind of laying some pieces out just to see where I want to go with this. In this, I try not to use too much of the plain paper because I really want, if I use plain, it's going to be more like this. But even that, I'm trying to use more floral, music, book pages, things like that. But I don't want, can I do it like this? Oop. I'm just grabbing, I'm going to glue in a second. And if I use plain paper like this one, it would be with color. Too much color in there. I don't have a lot of flower paper in here. That's my problem right now. And see, sometimes you get these corner pieces and they're great too to sit into a corner if you want. Like here, I'm going to probably sit it right here in the corner like that. And so that's great there. Kind of like how that's going. So I think we're going to glue those pieces down. If I remember after I do it. This will have to be the last, then that one, this will be the top, and this piece I'm going to glue first. My glue, I'm going to try to hurry this along because we want to make one more master board. So let me start just gluing for a moment and might not be talking as much so that I don't get myself so distracted. Okay. Then we're going to glue this one down. And again, I think I'm going to put a little color on the ends. Just so it, because it's so light, that it doesn't get totally lost in there. It's funny, purple is my favorite color. Then like a emerald green or a dark green or like that. And then pink. But it's funny is I make more pink journals than I do anything. Where did I... Oh, this I lost my... Where did I put my... Oh, no. Oh, there it is. Whoop, see, I'm losing my mind. I'm putting this here. Was this going to go on top? I think I'm going to stick that like that. And now I don't think I'm going to use that whole... I think I'm going to end up tearing that because I kind of changed my mind there. That happens too when you take it off. You may not remember exactly how you put it, but I knew I wanted these papers similarly collaged together, so that's why. And then I'm going to put this here. And again, that's got some white showing here, so I'm going to just try to take away from that white being so prominent. I'm just going to throw that over there, glue, because it's a big piece. I know people glue on book pages, but I don't like it. I'm just that way. We all have our way that we like to glue things, and that's fine. And that's the way it should be. What works for you works for you. Okay, here we go. Again. Okay. So now see, I have a little piece in here. So that's when some of those little tiny scraps come in handy. And normally I don't do this, but because I said I use it more on the more neutral for the something else, but I think this might work here. Oh, I didn't clean the glue off my finger well enough. There we go. So then I can just, I don't know why I keep not gluing on this table. I can wipe it just as easy as I can the board. I'm just kind of talking less, guys, right now because I'm just going to try to throw this together really quick so I can show you the hearts. I'm wondering if I'll have to do it in 2 videos, the first board, and then I'll show the second one. We'll have 2 videos. That way it breaks it up a little. That might work well. That might be a good idea. Let me move my scheduled papers before I get glue all over them, my calendars. Oh, see, look at that. I didn't glue that well enough. So let's throw some glue on there and glue that down. And we got that. So there, I'm trying to use up these little pieces I tore. Because I'm trying to use the scrap up, not create more scrap. Oh, that's exactly what we didn't. There we go. We'll glue that down now. And the thing is too, if for instance, let's just say we put this here and it hangs over, you can trim it after. That's not a problem. Just digging to see if I got anything interesting down to the bottom. This is quite interesting. Let's see, where would this look good? Let's see, maybe right here or right here. I think right there is perfect. And most of us, we do use our scraps with cluster making and and we quite often do use masterboard with them. So oh, I've got this pink. I don't like it. It ever gets... And even there are some scraps when I was going through, I knew I would not, that it was kind of a paper I used for one thing and it's not something I use. There are some little scraps I did get rid of because I know I would never use them, and I know because you know your own scraps too. And I know that I kept putting them off to the side. So, you know, don't be afraid. If you know that you're not going to use that scrap, don't keep holding on to it. Don't keep holding on to it. Get rid of it. Move on past it, to make space for scraps that you're going to use. I think sometimes we become hoarders and we keep saying, oh, maybe I'll use it later. Maybe. It's like that with clothing. Sometimes we say, oh, I'm going to lose weight. I'll eventually wear that again. When we do lose that weight, a lot of time it's an accomplishment. So we want to treat ourselves to something new. So I change my closet around seasonally, somewhat, because there are some like tank tops I wear under sweaters in the winter. But I kind of go through my clothing, and if I didn't wear it, I put it into Goodwill. If I didn't wear it for 4 months, what are the chances? And if it's a piece I really, really like and I'm having struggling with it, then I put it backwards in the closet. And if, again, by the time my next season comes and it doesn't get turned around, I'm getting rid of it. It's okay, guys. It's okay. The family upstairs that I rent from came home, and the little boy's, he's a little boy. And so you're going to hear some background noise. That's just the way it is. I try sometimes to do it when it's quieter, but hey, life happens. And we just do. I want to use that butterfly, but I haven't decided where I'm going to put it yet. I am going to put it somewhere. He's probably going to sit on top of some paper. I'm just grabbing some more paper here. I need some bigger pieces, but I need bigger pieces colored. And I don't have seam. I might have to go in and pull out. And then there's some pieces I don't want to cover up, so it doesn't always work there. So let me go into my bag with my digital pattern paper scraps. See if I can find some flowers in here that I can use. Some nice floral that I can add in here. I'm just pulling out some floral. But then I don't have much because with my floral, I make buttons a lot of times with my scraps. So I don't always have a lot of floral left over. I make buttons or I turn them into flowers. Oh, there's another piece of floral. Okay, there we go. But again, I got some white there, so I'm just going to... This is printed on cardstock, so I know I'm going to have to put a little extra glue on it. It'll take a little longer to hold. There we go. We're going to put that floral piece there. There we go. And I might... This is a big piece, but I still might stick it... Now, I wish this wasn't down. Maybe I will tear it in half. There we go. That'd be perfect there. Let me glue it. We might have to make 2 videos, so I might make this one. I haven't eaten lunch. I haven't eaten anything today. I've had a tea. So I make lunch, and then I might have make the other one. and take a break, and there'll just be 2 videos uploaded today. That's okay. That's okay. I like how that looks there now. Now, where did I put the other half of it? Numbskull of me who keeps putting down. Right now I am using some bigger pieces because otherwise if I keep using all tiny, we'll be here all day. And then I can put tiny over in spots as well. But if you overlap them in the right way, sometimes you don't have to. So you just do what you can. And this is where that butterfly may end up looking really good in. Yeah, I'm going to end up putting it there, but I need a piece underneath here. But I want, see, that's where a more neutral will come in handy. So you can pull out one of your more neutrals and put it in there. Now I don't need that whole piece. There we go. I might have made it too small, but we'll see, because I don't want to cover up. Try not to cover up that. I want that to really show. I like that piece a lot, so I'm trying not to cover it with anything. I think we'll do that with that butterfly. It's going to be interesting. I've never done this. I've taken a fussy cut that had lots of colors in it and added it. So this will be something new I'm trying. That's why I left the butterfly on my desk last night when I found them in amidst my scraps. I thought, oh, let me try something. But now I'm going to take off his little antennas because I don't necessarily want it to look like a butterfly. But now it's got that white, but that's easy to do. You just do that. Fingers are so sticky right now. Even the wet one isn't really getting them clean. There we go. Maybe that'll help. Okay. Let's put that there. I don't know if I'm still in focus. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to stay in focus. Apologies if I move out. I mean, I could put the camera higher, but then it's so far away. I want the camera to be as close as possible so you can see. Just move that wet one out of the way. I think I'll throw some pink in here. This is where I just need some little pieces. So I'm going to save this pink just to fill in some holes in different places. The nice thing, yes, it does, this purple glue shows purple, but it doesn't dry purple. So don't be afraid to take those little pieces and tear them into littler pieces. Like this. Except for I probably... Oh, my glue is in my way. I have a piece, I need a piece right in here. go. This where what might, I'm going to try something different, guys. I'm going to try something because I want a little something of brightness there. I'm going to take my stamp again and I'm going to throw in a flower in there. Same here. I think I'm going to put a couple just in the background type thing to add a little contrast in some places. Okay. I think I do one here too. I'm going to see how that works. Something new. So I have 2 spots left to fill. And then we can get on with it. So take that. So as you can see, I'm taking it over the edge because of the way I want to angle it. Hands are so sticky. There we go. I think I got all, nope, I have a little hole here. So we're gonna, see, I was gonna put that there, I think. But that's okay, I've got these little pieces here that are perfect to fill in those little holes. Just trying to take the little scraps I've torn and just use those up and not going back into the scrap box for now. Just need something here, just something there. And I lied, I'm gonna have to go back in there. I'm just gonna go back. I need a script, I think. If I had a pretty script of writing, it would be perfect, but I don't know if I do. Huh. There we go. Okay, guys, we're almost ready to cut the hearts out. Almost ready, guys. I literally took a scrap that I was going to throw in the garbage to put on here. That's got a lot of scrappies in it. This here needs something. Sorry guys, one more little, need something a little more contrasting in here. Like that. We're not going to overthink it, we're just going to put it. Okay, and then we're going to cut the hearts out. Okay, glue, stick. There we go. All right, so there we go. We've got our master board done. Let's move that over. Get that out of the way. Put those scraps back in. To keep now the lid for this. So we'll put the glue up and out of the way. And that's just garbage. Okay, So I'm going to just try to give my hands a good wipe so that I can not have glue everywhere. Okay, now normally I have a heart to trace, but I misplaced my heart, so I'm just cut the shape of the heart however size you want. And I always turn mine over. You could trace it on the front if you wanted to. That is your choice. And I try to work whereas I can get as many, oops, sorry guys, as many hearts out of the board. So you just take your heart. I just took a piece of paper, folded it in half, and, you know, did a heart one way or another. I'm just going to try to move the camera a little because so I can show you. I'll show you once I draw all the hearts how I. So I'm always trying to, and I do angle it a lot so that I can get the most out of my paper as I possibly can. Now I'm never going to get to use all of the paper up, but I don't waste it. I punch it with my circle or my small hearts and I turn it into buttons. So even in that I try to, so if there's some gaps I don't care because I'm going to make some buttons out of it. And they don't have to, I mean, you can roughly throw them together really quickly. And this is a 12 by 12 paper. I do them in all different sizes depending what's available. And you could draw smaller hearts too if you wanted a smaller heart. You could make them whatever size you want. That is totally up to you. I think I'm going to get another heart in there. So that'll make a couple buttons. And again, because I did I like the pencils on the back, and if that bothers you when you go to cut them out, you can erase if the lines show. But for me, I'm gluing them down. So, and also if you come to Junk Journal Craft and Chat and you join our group and you participate in our January Get Organized, and each week, for instance, this one is Scrappy, I'm going to enter names. If, like, for instance, you still have time, you can join and come to the Scrappy event. Show us a picture of your scraps. And that gets your name entered. And if you make this master board and you show us your hearts, and you put a picture in the event, your name goes in for a draw. And at the end of it, I have, depending on the amount of people, it'll be between 1 and 3 prizes, and I'm going to send out Happy Mail at the end of the week for the 3 winners. So, you know, you're more than welcome to come join us at Junk Journal Craft and Chat. Again, I will make sure that it's in the comment section below when I upload this. I make sure it's all there for you. Also, I do have my own store. I don't use Etsy yet. I'm so small, I didn't want to have to pay Etsy fees right now. I wanted to keep as much of, I want to keep my prices down and make as much as I possibly can from it, as well as give better prices. And if I'm doing Etsy, I have to go into the fact that they take some of the money, so I have to take that into consideration when I'm pricing it. So, and that I have a Facebook group where I sell, and that's called Purple Hearts Creations by Chrissy, the same title as my YouTube channel. I also have Kufu, I don't know how it's said. I will have the link. I'm going to have to learn how that's pronounced. So as you can see, I probably didn't do this well. I'm not going to get any more hearts out of it, but all that paper is not going to go to waste. So there we go. There's all my hearts on my 12 by 12, and then I'm going to use bigger scissors instead of my smaller scissors because it'll just be faster. Ouch. Sometimes I use the bigger ones and then use the smaller ones for the... Oh, my blanket's... Sorry, I have a blanket around my legs and it got tangled in the chair. Mind you, I'm hot enough. I don't know why I have it on. So just... Sometimes I find it easier. I might need it to cut them out like this and then use my smaller. I might not cut them all on screen. We'll see. And again, so there's one. Okay, let's go to another section so we can see how it turns out. See, so here's that paper that's extra. Sometimes it's easier. You don't necessarily have to cut it off. I know the lady I watched, and I got to remember the poor person who showed me where I saw these. Because, and I think I did this on another video for my group. So I'm going to go check back and see if I hope I wrote down who, or in my notes somewhere. See? So you see the different papers in that. And again, this won't be wasted because what I do, I'll show you. That one's in my way. I pull my heart, and hopefully soon I'll have a butterfly punches that I can then punch out too. And then I just take it, punch it, and I'm going to turn that into a button. I don't think I'm going to get 2 out of that. Oh, I am. And there we go. I have some buttons too. Don't have them up in the shop, but I hopefully going to have them up this coming week. My buttons, I'm going to have ones where you can buy them just randomly like that, a variety of them, as well as I'm going to have them on cards, or you could take them off the cards and then use them in your project, or you could tuck the card with the buttons on in your journal if that's something you like to do. I'm just working on them at times too. So there we go. There's another Scrappy Heart. See, the flower actually looks really nice. I don't know if you can see it. It actually, let's see if I do it like this. So, and you get to see how different they are again. So I can fit the heart, and I'm going to turn that into a button. So I don't waste the scraps on those either. So that's also why I try to cut as close to the heart as possible, so I don't waste any of that valuable masterboard. I'll cut a few more and then we'll there we go, another heart done. What I'll do is again, I might sell these in my shop too, so if you're somebody who doesn't want to make them and you just want to buy a bunch of them, I'll put a bunch of them for sale in my shop, really cheap, because they're not expensive to make. I forgot what I was doing. Oh my. So there we go. And there we go. I love them. I really do. I love how it turns out. Let's go into this corner. But I want to cut that heart as close as possible so that I can get use out of that. Sometimes it's tricky. And because this is gessoed, it's making it sturdy too. So they're nice and sturdy. They're not thin by any means. It's cardstock, and then there's gesso on it. Oh, it looks cute. The butterfly looks cute on it. Can you see it? I think sometimes I need to do that. I'm trying to see if I've got it centered enough. The butterfly actually looks cute on it. I didn't even know that was the spot. So let's maybe cut one more out on. Sometimes you wish you could. Eventually, when I get better, guys, like in this case, I would speed it up. But I'm not that good at my editing yet. Maybe in time, I'll be able to do that. And then speed past all this cutting. Okay. And here's sometimes what I'll do, because obviously I can't get much from here, but sometimes I'll go ahead and see if I can punch, because that way sometimes there. That way I make it easier. I'll cut out 2 more of the hearts just so you can see the variety. Maybe the little scissors, because then I don't have to work with the long handle trying to just okay. So this is where I'm talking about. Once I cut this, it might be okay. Sometimes you'll find some, oh, that's the one with the butterfly. So you don't really see the butterfly shape. We sort of do, but you wouldn't know unless you maybe followed. Now, these look really nice too, because once you're done, then you can go around and ink them. And I think that also adds to it as well. So there's that. Let's do one more in the center. You know which one I want to see how it turns out is this one. Let's see. I'm not going to cut it under the camera because that way I think I can cut faster. There we go. Sometimes you might have to shape the heart once you cut it out. There's that with the butterfly, part of the butterfly. So see, like, I'm going to cut like this. And all this I'll turn into, obviously that part won't, I'll turn that into buttons and it's going to look really good. Or I could make a smaller heart if I chose to, which I might do too. It just all depends on how you want to use it. Let's cut this last one out and we'll call it quits. I'll just lay out the ones that we cut. And I just call these my Masterboard Scrappy Hearts. So there we go. So there we go. Now let's lay those out. So we still have lots more to cut. So I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more to go. So that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I get approximately 22 hearts out of that, and I'm going to get some nice shaped heart buttons and circle buttons. And even in this case, I can, where is it? Because I make large heart buttons, large circle buttons. And in this case, you'll see this. See, I need glue. Yeah, please don't go in there moving things around. So there, I have a big heart button as well. So I won't waste those scraps. So let me see if I got a nice brown piece of paper here that I can lay these hearts out so you can see what we did. And I'm going to stop this video, eat a little something, and then I'll come. I probably have to recharge. I'm going to have to edit this, and I'll be doing another video for tonight. So there's some of our Scrappy Hearts. Different colors, different patterns, and I think they are beautiful. And again, they can be used on a paper as by themselves. It could even be a tuck spot if you want. So there's a lot of things you can do with this. All right, so I will put a picture of it, probably maybe all of the finished ones when I'm done in the comments after it's uploaded. Please come join us at Junk Journal Craft and Chat. and check out my Purple Hearts creation by Chrissy on Facebook, and all those links will be listed below. Thank you very much, and you have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll see you a little bit later on with another video.